At the back post, Taylor's in there as well, and Edwards! Rob Edwards, with just his second goal of the season, gives Exeter the lead.
Welcome once again to Kellow's Bootlaces. It's February already, Kirky. Can you believe it?
Where does the time go? Season's running away with us.
It is, and what a start to the month. Still buzzed up from the weekend?
I'll be buzzed up for about another week, I think.
Well, we've got a really busy show this week. We've got our first round the table debate tonight, so we've got some special guests coming in. We haven't got Lee Roberts coming in. How does that look, Lee?
He's a bit thinner, are we? Suck those cheeks in.
Shocking.
Breathe in.
That's an inside story. You'll have to grab us at the game if you want to know what all that's about, but I'm sure Mr. Roberts is having a little chuckle to himself.
I'm sure he is.
So we got our first round the table debate, and we're also going to interview Troy Brown, which I'm really looking forward to that. He's invited us round for a cup of Kirky, isn't he?
On location.
Outside
broadcast.
So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And we'll do the Dirty Dozen with him at the end of the show as well.
Sure.
So that'll be excellent. So we are in the Kellow's production office at the moment. We've got to jump in the car. We've got to go to Troy Brown's house. So while we make our way there, we'll just get you in the mood for that and show you a few shots of his house. Let it be known that Troy Brown makes a really good cup of coffee, but I'm not quite sure. What have you put in this? Almond milk, did you say?
I think that one's oat milk.
Oat milk. I've never had oat milk.
You don't even know what that is, mate.
The life of a professional footballer. Oat milk, everyone. Oat milk. How are you, Troy?
Yeah, all good. Just back in some light training, which is good for the mind and definitely the body because I've had a long layoff. But no, I'm in positive spirits.
Tell us a little bit about the injury journey then, because it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, where do I start? Well, the playoff final against Blackpool is where I tweaked it first. Obviously coming off in the 60th minute, whatever it was. Caught a ball in the end of the toe. Just there and then I just thought, oh, something's happened there. Then had the off-season off. I missed the first couple of weeks of pre-season. Joined in, played 23 games, no problem. And then it was November 2017 now,
wow,
where I got stamped on against Accrington at home. And then had the scan, high grade 2 MCL tear. Did the rehab. And then, you always had that carrot being dangled at the playoffs again in our position, top three playoffs. And I think I came back March time, or maybe end of February time. And then got to 6 games and broke down, and I was like, oh, okay, this isn't good. It's not, after 12 weeks out, it's not really ideal. And then again, the carrot of the playoffs was still there, so I was fighting back to get fit. But as I was trying to get fit, this thing that my calves would go in, and I've never had calf problems in my career, so I didn't get fit. And in all fairness, Jordan's story was brilliant, so I probably wouldn't have played anyway, which is a bit of a godsend. But I then went off for the summer, was doing bits of rehab and stuff like that, came back into pre-season, got to 6 games again, broke down again, and I got given a choice of having an injection called PRP, which is a form of blood spinning, which is meant to speed up healing. Right. Because the scan showed a potential re-injury or an operation. And to be fair to the manager, Matty, he left the decision down to me. He said, you've got, hopefully 8-9 years left on your knee, so the decision's down to you, don't feel any pressure from us. And I took the route of nipping it in the bud and getting an operation. It's only then that when I got put to sleep, everything's relaxed. They opened me up. They could see the extent of the damage, and only one part of my deep MCL, which doesn't show on the scan, was barely attached, and the other 2 were lax. So I was playing on a mangled knee, which was...
What's an MCL?
Annoying. An MCL is the ligament on the inside.
Right.
The medial collateral ligament.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh no, that's the bad one.
Right.
So I've had an ACL done.
Oh, see, that's the bad one as well.
I can hear of a player that says, I play every week, but I have an injection before the game to get me through it. It wasn't that kind of injury then.
I had an injection in pre-season, a cortisone injection because I could feel something, but I thought, I've been through all this. I'm playing. I feel good, but I can feel something, and that only got me through to 6 games, and here I am now. So it's frustrating, but there's light at the end of the tunnel now. So
Well, that's brilliant. That's encouraging news all round. But as a player, when you're out with a long-term injury like that, do you still feel part of the group, or are you on the outside of it a bit?
I mean,
There's the bits you miss.
I've never experienced such a lengthy time out, so I can't really answer that because I haven't experienced anywhere else. But here, I think it's one of the unique places where we're a real tight-knit group. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's times where you feel isolated when you're doing your rehab, you know, in the gym on your own and you're watching the lads train, having fun in the sun, or now in the snow, but having fun and training hard, and that can be a bit isolating. But what I try to do is keep myself in some form of a routine where I go to as many games as I can, so I'm still doing something on a Saturday. If I'm not running around in the week, I'm still in that mode of in and around the dressing room and being a part of it as much as I can. But the boys have been brilliant. Matty's been fantastic with me, if I'm honest. I think obviously giving me the option and putting no pressure on for that.
Brilliant.
Checking up on me, asking how I am, ensuring I have time off away from the place, just to get my head straight and rest up. And to be fair, he's been brilliant.
Cool.
I think one of the things as well, you've played a lot of football in your life, haven't you? So you've just got to look after your body. So let's take you back, way back where, I think 1990 was it you were born?
Yeah.
Croydon?
Yeah, Croydon, yeah. Lovely Croydon.
Lovely. Who did you support as a lad then?
Arsenal, and still do now.
Yeah.
Ian Wright being the main reason. I mean, obviously he started at Palace, but I think when I was that age I didn't know who was who.
Yeah.
And he went on to Arsenal, and I was a real big Ian Wright fan. Still
So you're a big gooner?
I'm a gooner. I wouldn't say massive gooner. Obviously I don't have the time to go to the games playing on Saturday, but I watch every game on the telly. I keep up to date with all the news and
nice
all the bits and bobs. So yeah.
I have to say, my research is purely based on Wikipedia. So if I get
That's
any
dreadful.
question, Fullsy,
Don't pull that picture up of me.
that's a cracker, that one, isn't it? We'll come on to that. So,
That's a
but
shirt.
I did read as a lad you were with Fulham. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I was with Fulham. Yeah, I was with Fulham I lived for 5 years. I lived in Cardiff. My mother's from Cardiff, so I lived in Cardiff for 5 years, and then came back over. And my old man got me into the Tandridge League,
All right, okay.
which was I played for a team called Purley Panthers Sunday League
Right.
team, and I ended up scoring 5 goals my first game and got scouted for Fulham.
All right.
So that was at the age of 7.
Yeah.
And now you're centre back.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
No, I was I was.
You were the man, were
I was
you?
a whip it up front.
Were you?
But, yeah, that ended soon. And I went to Fulham at the age of 7. They didn't even have an under 7, under 8s back then.
Right.
So I ended up playing with some of the older boys, which
Yeah.
stood me in good stead.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was there from 7 till 18.
Till 18. Because the first time I came across you, you were at Ipswich.
Yeah,
And of course, I don't know if you remember, you played at St James's Park.
it's my first start.
Very
That was my
emotional
first
night.
start,
Do you remember
yeah.
much about that night? I
I
could just
remember.
say
Was it the evening Adam Stansfield passed?
it was. It
Yeah, I
was. So
remember, yeah.
it was what, August? Was that August 10?
Yeah, I've got the tanker there. It says it there of my.
Where are we looking?
My debut, 3rd shelf down on the right hand side.
Oh,
the cup.
nice one. We'll do a cut of that one then, won't we?
Yeah, that's my debut cup.
Your debut. Who gave you that?
The club. That was what they did when you made your
When you
first
made your
start.
debut.
You got one of those.
Was Roy Keane manager then?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I'm very grateful to him. He gave my start in the game. So
Because I read somewhere you were one of his first signings.
yeah, I was. So what happened was I got told from Fulham that I was going to be let go, or I wasn't going to be offered a pro contract. I'm offered a 3rd year scholar, which in my eyes I thought you was just making up the numbers.
Yeah.
They said they weren't sure, and I said I've been here 11 years, so
Yeah.
you must be sure. But so I went off to what they call the exit trials.
Yeah.
Which was at Warwick Uni, where they had it was like a cattle market of scouts with clipboards. I've never been so nervous in my life.
Right.
And we play 4 games in 4 days, and they're there just marking
Ticking
or
off.
critiquing, whatever, I don't know. But you get sent a letter in the post. It's, I suppose like getting your exam results.
Yeah.
And there's a list of clubs, and it was the back end of the season, so I went to Cheltenham because it was down the road, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh, it's local. I've played against them in the academy.
Yeah.
And Ipswich is miles away, Bradford's miles away.
Yeah.
So I was there, and they was in a position where they'd just been relegated to the Championship. So they said, "Oh, we want to sign you, but we can't offer you anything because we don't know the financial
Situation.
situation of the club." I think that's Phil Parkinson back then. And then Steve McCall, who was at Ipswich, phoned me and said, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I said, "What do you mean? I'm at Charlton." And he's going, "Oh, Ipswich is a much better club. Come down here."
Wow.
So I went down there. I played a reserve game, and Jim McGilton was the manager at the time.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh yeah, I'd like to sign you. Come in and sign on Wednesday," which was the day off for the team.
Okay.
He then went and got sacked.
Oh man, what a
So
start.
I'm sat there. I had an auntie, or she still is there now, and I'm thinking, what is going on?
You're
I
20
see-
years old, whatever.
Yeah, I can see. I was 9. No, I was 18 still.
18.
I could see it going across the bottom on Sky Sports News. Thinking, I'm like, what happens now? Then Roy King gets hired a day later, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's brilliant. He's a legend, but am I going to get signed? He said, I need to see you play. And we played at Leyton Orient away and we won 5-0.
Wow.
And then he signed me for the
He
back of
signed
that
you.
game.
Brilliant.
And then gave my
Fair play.
debut the next season and whatnot.
And
So-
flew on from there. Happy times at Ipswich?
Yeah, brilliant times. Looking back, I probably shouldn't have left. It's a situation where, Keane lost his job and a new manager came in, and what the contract I'd been offered from Keane was different to the contract I got offered by the new manager.
Right.
And then it got to a situation where he said, you're going to go on loan anyway.
Okay.
So I thought I might as well get a bit more security and go on loan somewhere else, and I went to Rotherham.
Yeah. So they trusted you at Ipswich because you played in the cup game against Chelsea, didn't you?
Yeah.
I remember that famous game. I think was it 6 or 7?
Yeah, that was a game after Keane got sacked.
Right.
So we had loads of injuries.
Yeah.
We had loads of injuries, no manager. It was just,
Just
a recipe for disaster. But
So why did you choose Rotherham then? You're going further and further north, aren't you?
yeah, I underestimated the move up north, let me tell you that. But I chose Rotherham because they obviously had the plans of the new stadium, the new training ground and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I got sold a bit of a dream.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
The Yankee Stadium.
no disrespect to them, they've done really well. And
Yeah.
it is a good club.
Because were they League 2 at the time?
Yeah, they were League 2, playing at Don Valley.
Yeah.
And I went up there and I remember, because I was still playing for under-21s at that time,
Right.
and there was no international break, and the manager that signed me was saying, oh, when's your games, and blah, blah, blah. So I told him my games, he said, fine, no problem. Ended up signing, went there, played the first 2 games, did really well, and then went away to play for Wales. As I was away, they signed someone else. I was thinking,
All right, great, okay.
Wow.
okay, came back, and then never really featured, to be honest. I think I featured 6 times in 6 months, which was
Right.
hard as a young lad moving
Yeah.
miles away from home.
Yeah.
You've left somewhere that you loved,
Yeah.
but have gone to try and test yourself and get games, and you're not getting
You're
games.
not getting the games.
That'll teach you to play for Wales.
Yeah.
So did you ever get homesick at all then?
At that stage, it was a case of I just needed, what's the word? I needed familiar surroundings. I needed my people around me because it was tough. I loved where I lived. I just didn't settle, and that was it.
Oh, okay. So then back down to Aldershot.
Went to Aldershot on loan
Yeah.
for 6 months, which was a good time for me because I ended up playing holding midfield and centre back, so I experienced different things.
Yeah.
I was back home. It gave me a chance to get my head straight.
Yeah.
And then I ended up signing there permanently for the following season because we did so well. We just finished outside the playoffs and we was towards the bottom. Similar to what we did
Yeah.
that year when we got to the final.
I'm just interested because we talk to a lot of people that obviously go out on loan, a lot of players, and obviously we got a lot of loan players in as well. Do you ever truly feel part of the club when you're an actual loan player?
I think I did at Aldershot, hence why I signed there. I mean, it was a similar, bunch of lads to what we've got here. Everyone was tight knit and everyone got on. Not as well because this is really unique, but no, it was a good time. That's why I stayed there. And that season that I stayed there, that's when I first injured my knee. Tuesday night against Torquay, I scored the winner late on.
Come on.
Got injured during scoring.
Yeah.
And remember Dean Holdsworth, the manager at the time, said just go and play up front, you're no good to me at the back.
Right.
Then from out of nowhere found a surge of pace down the wing and got cleaned out into the stands. So and I missed the rest of the season, and then that game they sacked the manager and brought in the manager that signed me at Rotherham.
Oh, okay. Who was that?
Andy Scott.
Andy Scott. Andy Scott. Brentford Andy Scott.
So
Terry Bullivant, those boys.
the manager, Terry Brilliant was there. The manager that signed me at Rotherham, and I didn't play under, came to Aldershot,
Brilliant.
which was
great.
I was injured and
Yeah.
missed the rest of the season. Everyone knows how that turned out. So.
Yeah. But then another 2 years at Cheltenham.
Yeah, I went to Cheltenham.
Came across Matt Taylor again.
Yeah, Matt Taylor in the second year. He came in as captain.
Right.
I remember we had a good trip to Dublin at Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, spill the beans. Tell us more.
That's an off-camera story, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any fancy dress? What did we go as?
He was Iron Man.
Was he?
Yeah, I'll never forget. He was Iron Man in a morph suit. But you know, we've all had funny times. But no, it was.
Did you ever think he'd, management material?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah. I could tell by the way, even in training as a player, he was always doing extras and encouraging others to do extras, and he trained very hard. He was a good trainer.
Okay, and of course Tiz then signed you at Cheltenham.
Yeah, Tiz signed me from Cheltenham. Very grateful to him.
What do players like about Tiz then? Because he is quite a divisive figure. It appears in the I think that's a controversial statement, is it? What does he mean to a player?
Personally, I'm very grateful to Tiz for signing me off the back of Cheltenham and what happened there that season. And he gave me an opportunity to kickstart my career again and find happiness in football again, which I did.
Yeah,
cool. I have done. So in that respect, I haven't got a bad word to say about him, if I'm honest.
A couple of highlights from each season you've been here. I think your first season here, game against the Argyle, 1-0 down, Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
On the pitch that day?
Yeah, I was on the pitch. I did a knee slide and grazed my knees. I didn't even score, he scored. And
what a goal, wasn't it?
Great goal. Yeah, I thought he slipped. At the time, and I've watched it back, and fair play to him.
That must be just magical when you're on the pitch and you see somebody do. Because we weren't the best that day, were we? And I think that his first goal to make it 1-1, the keeper probably thinks he should have done better.
Yeah.
And then when that second goal went in,
I remember a few of us went out for some drinks afterwards, and it was like we won the World Cup.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Well, around town. You are going to go out around town if you're beating the Argyle, aren't you?
It was like we won the World Cup. It was brilliant. Yeah, but
how good was Ollie Watkins?
Yeah, good player. When I first came in, he was playing left back in the reserves, and
wow.
Yeah, and then he just shot off and did what he did and did his thing. And again, he's a hard trainer. He works hard. He's level-headed and deserves everything that comes to him.
Must be amazing being on the pitch when something like that happens. The surge of noise from the bank.
Yeah, it was brilliant. He just couldn't do any wrong. The back end of that season, and obviously the season after, he could do no wrong. Everything he was hitting was going in.
It must have been a good night because you remember it.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Where did you guys end up in? Timepiece or?
No, I remember we went to Cozy Club. It was literally a quiet one. A couple of drinks and home, and went to Cozy Club for some food and some drinks, and
what a feeling.
It was like we won the World Cup. It was strange. Yeah.
And the next season, the game I picked out is 3-0 down against Yeovil.
Yeah.
With about 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I think you pinged one in, didn't you? Header?
Yeah, Tiz was going on about that for ages, of being a direct header from a corner, and I came onto it late, but I'll be honest, I was knackered.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was just late getting up.
Was that the first one or the second one?
I think that was the second one.
Yeah.
I think.
And then we all bleeded.
Wheeler, myself, and then Ruben
got one.
I think.
Yeah.
But no, that was, then it just felt like we was in a rhythm and a flow, and
it was like a...
relentless. It was just relentless. Yeah, relentless those days.
And of course, this season, it must have been a massive thing for you scoring against Ipswich.
Yeah, it was. Listen, they're just a former employee, just a former club. I still look out for the results, and I'm not really like that.
You're not?
No.
Does it feel like a different a lifetime ago, a different?
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I was actually with the family members that lived in Ipswich the other day, and they were saying, "Oh, how long was you at Ipswich?" I said, "Oh, like 8 years ago."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, it's flown by." But no, I'm not really like that. It was a nice moment to score because I need to add that to my game. But no, it is what it was really.
You mentioned earlier about the dressing room, the tight. Yeah. What is a tight dressing room? What do you mean by tight dressing room? Everybody looks out for each other or self-regulates, or
everyone gets on and off the pitch. But then obviously there's a fine line of getting on too well and not digging each other out when you need to. I think we've got the balance.
Who do you watch out for in particular with the practical jokes then, or is it more banter?
Oh, he's gone up the road, Jaden.
Was he the one, was he?
Gone, yeah. Dean's a bit of a joker.
Was he? Yeah. What, cutting socks, stuff like that? Or?
Oh no, not. That's just downright rude. That's disrespectful. No, not.
He's been on my socks, I think, looking at the state of them.
Not that far, but no, it's
It's just brutal with the banter, are they?
Just not even brutal, just funny and cheeky and cheeky chappy. You've got MJ who's cheeky chappy, Hammy throws his 2 pence in, but no, it's just a good all-round good bunch of lads. But since day one, I remember, I've travelled down and come into the dressing room. I only knew Dave Noble from Cheltenham because he came on loan. But from day one, or even the senior lads like Ryan Harley, Macca, Davo, all speak to them now, and they from day one they just took you in. It was like the culture of the club, and the boys have found it now. I remember speaking to Lee Martin because I was with him at Ipswich, and he's like, "What's it like down there?" I said, "Listen, there's no other dressing room like it."
Yeah.
He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Just everyone's pally and everyone gets on, and you'll have no problems in that respect." And I think he's found that.
Do you think a player wouldn't sign if you gave him a bad reference?
Money talks. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think any player would get a bad reference.
Yeah. And he's happy?
Bar the distance, maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
he's on top of his game now, isn't he? He's found his feet, he's found the...
Lee, he's found a rhythm and he looks sharp, and that's, obviously I played him years ago and he was always a little rat running around.
Was
a skillful rat. But no, he's doing his thing at the moment, and long may that continue.
Would you find that, you've obviously, because of the injury, you've watched a lot of games. Do you find that makes you a bit of a critique to the players on the pitch?
It's tough.
Do you have a little word and say...
It's tough because... Obviously, I said I like to go to games and keep in the rhythm, but then it's also tough watching the games. It's frustrating because obviously you want to be a part of it and you're kicking every ball. But then I remember that we had our little bad patch, and then you want to say something, but then you feel like you might be looked at and be like, "Hang on a second, you're
not even playing."
Yeah. So it's tough, but I try and encourage as much as I can and give well done and pats on the back as much as I can, because if every little helps really.
Yeah.
So.
But injury aside, you loving your time here?
Yeah, it's a lovely part of the world. My partner enjoys it. I enjoy it. It's a place where you can look back on, even if you don't settle here. Yeah. And you can look back and say, I was fortunate to live in Devon, because it's, you've got 5 or 6 beaches in half an hour. In the summer, it's lovely.
The oat milk's not bad.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, not curdled in your stomach.
Not on the almond milk.
Well, Troy, really appreciate your time. Thanks for inviting us round.
No problem.
Lovely pad.
Cheers.
Great place. And Liverpool, West Ham on the TV.
Can't be bad.
No problem.
Well, I do apologise at the start of that interview. We actually got Troy's house muddled up with Taggy's joint. So I do apologise, Troy. But great to catch up with Troy.
I love Troy Brown. He's a proper defender, no nonsense, isn't he? And let's hope he's back on that pitch very, very soon.
Yeah, he shouldn't. Well, let's hope he's not far off, is it? It's been too long for the poor boy, isn't it?
Just what he was saying there, wasn't it? I do think it was a defining point, that Blackpool playoff final. We were on top, Wills has scored, looking to kick on, 60 minutes. You just felt that was a bit of a game changer, really.
Well, don't get too comfortable there, Kirky. We got to get on our skates again now. Make our way up to the boardroom, because it's time for our first Kellows round the table. Well, welcome to our first Kellows round the table. We're joined this evening by Andrew Barge, who does co-commentary for BBC Radio Devon. We got Stuart James from Devon Live, the written press. We've got Dave Bennett, who many all know was chairman of the Supporters Club for a number of years and is responsible for the 50-50 every week. So I'm guessing you take it home if no one claims it, Dave.
Absolutely right, yeah.
And of course we've got Kellow's very own Kirky on the end there, who, to be fair, probably sees more of City than any of us, because he does home and away, which is great. So we're just going to, I thought it would be good after last month's interview with Matt Taylor, which was brilliant. Well done again, Kirky. It'd be great to see how the press and the supporters view Matt's progress and the team's progress so far this season. But I think first off, because it's fresh in our minds still, we've got to talk about Saturday. Stu, I'll start with you. Cracking afternoon and a cracking performance against MK Dons.
Absolutely. It makes me laugh, because so many people were saying, it doesn't matter anymore, blah, 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 all this. And you look at the attendance, Tiz put 1,500 on the gate. It was just a great day, wasn't it? I saw a comment, I think it was on your Facebook actually, Kirky. Someone said it's like a derby game, but without the opposition almost. And that was kind of how it felt, really. The atmosphere was brilliant. I thought it was really, really good. And I know there were a few chants that were perhaps a little bit below the belt, but I thought generally the fans were superb. The performance from the players was absolutely top notch. They wanted to win that game so much.
Absolutely, yeah. And Bargy, the first 20 minutes, City have rarely started that brightly, have they?
Incredible. I know. It's been what we've been crying out for seasons, hasn't it? For many seasons. So many times we've seen games here under our previous manager where we would come out very, very slowly, and it was quite turgid, wasn't it, for a lot of games over the seasons. And to see us come out like that, I wasn't expecting it. It took me by surprise. I was sat next to Pat Baldwin, who was on commentary. It took him by surprise as well. But it was a joy to see. It really was, to see the players come out and just be allowed to express themselves, but just really be up for it as well. And, it could have been 3-0 before before MK even got a foothold in the game, which they obviously did. But brilliant performance and a great afternoon.
And as Bargy said there, Dave, MK did have their moment. They had the first kind of 15 minutes of the second half, but after our third goal, which was a bit of an error, but credit to Nicky Law for following up.
You've got to be there, haven't you?
We finished it stronger, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, you did think that 15 minutes, you knew they were going to come out there to do something, And I mean, that's the only time that we looked in any danger whatsoever. I thought we totally dominated from start to finish, really, to be honest. And Nicky Law, he had to chase that ball down, didn't he? He didn't give it up, and their mistake, but he had to be there to put it in the net. And I just thought the way we pressed them on Saturday, I mean, to see them taking a go kick and have 3 of our players lining the edge of their penalty area, I mean, incredible. Oh, it's a fantastic performance.
I think Matt deserves a lot of credit because he went to go and watch MK Dons in the week. He really does his homework, and he was very thorough with his homework for this game. Identified that as a potential weakness in MK Dons, wanted to press high up the pitch. Yeah. That's exactly what he did, and we got our rewards with 2 goals in the first 17 minutes. Yeah,
unfortunately I didn't see any of the first 17 minutes because I don't come out until 20 minutes into the game, but
Kirky,
it's good.
Performance of the season so far?
Absolutely. Can't disagree with anything anybody said. I thought we were just outstanding. It was just a fantastic day, wasn't it? The anticipation of it. I thought the Big Bank were absolutely fantastic. The Red Legion were great. There was a lot of rhetoric beforehand about what was going to happen. But I thought, Stu says some chance. I didn't hear anything personally that went over the mark. But it was great banter, wasn't it? Really, really good day. Topped off with a very strange interview by Paul Tisdale at the end. So it was just baffled us all really. But credit to Matt Taylor, credit to the fans, credit especially to the players. I thought we were absolutely fantastic.
I love that picture of Dino coming off the pitch.
Oh,
with bloody nose. I mean, that just summed it all up for me.
I thought it was John Smith. Anyway, it's great for you guys to come in. It's great to get a different kind of view. Let's just wind the clock back, as it were, to the beginning of the season. A season, it's always going to have been a season like no other because, we had Tiz here for 12 years. Tiz has gone. Matt Taylor's come in. So I don't quite know what the expectations were at the start of the season, but Stu, we started so well, didn't we? So brightly.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of people were saying in pre-season, with all the changes and everything going on, a season of consolidation would be acceptable. But when you have that good start like we had, obviously the expectation raises and everybody wants a repeat of what's happened in the last couple of years and to go that extra step. My take on it, I think Matt Taylor inherited or took on the job in a position that's probably better than any other Exeter City manager in our history in terms of finance, facilities, the squad that he had at his disposal. Although that was then made very difficult by the fact Jordan Moore-Taylor left, Jordan Story left, Ryan Harley left, the backroom staff left, and then there were the injuries to Troy and Hiram, and then Jaden goes at Christmas time. So he's had to overcome a lot of adversity, Matt. So to be there or thereabouts at this stage of the season, going into the last 15, 16 games, I think it's been a fantastic first campaign for Matt Taylor.
And Kirky, we've talked about this often, and on Kellow's as well. He seemed to recruit so well, didn't he?
Absolutely.
For a novice manager.
And that's what would have given him great satisfaction, I think, on Saturday. I was looking at the lineup, Stu saying about the team he inherited. I think there was 6 Paul Tisdale players in the starting lineup and 5 Matt Taylor players. You had Lee Martin, John Fort, Nicky Law, Archie Collins and Dara in there, who are Matt Taylor really players, aren't they? So, and they're all playing for Matt Taylor. I think he's done an amazing job in there. It's just real team performance.
And Bargy, we had a little bit of blip before Christmas. It was bound to come, but he kind of managed his way through that, and then we had a really strong Christmas period on the back of it.
Yeah, I think just going back to talking about the squad night, I think he clearly went for quality, didn't he, in the summer rather than numbers. And I think maybe that's where we got a little bit caught out just before Christmas, because I think we had about 4 or 5 first teamers all out at the same time, pretty much for varying amounts of time. And I think that's what upset them. And obviously, we've spent most of the season without hearing Boateng as well, who, he'd be my first pick every week. I think, he's been so crucial to us in the midfield for a couple of years now. And I still think he is a big miss for us as well. I think if we can get him back this season, if we're still up there around the playoff places, promotion places, he might be the one deciding factor that can push us over the line. It's always going to happen. Every team has a blip in the season. I think you want to get it out of the way early on in the season and not in the second half of the season. And hopefully that's what we've done. But credit to Matt Taylor for pulling it around and the players as well.
I'll start with you, Dave, and I'll make it a little bit more difficult. I want to ask you who stood out for you this season, but I'm going to take man of the match Nicky Law out of it, out of the equation. All right. So, who stood out for you, Dave?
I think as a season as a whole, probably young Dara, who's come in, I've been absolutely superb at the back. for a young lad, to be fair, to come in and League Two football and all that, I thought he's just stepped up to the plate. He's done brilliantly. I have to say, on Saturday, my man of the match was Jonathan Fort, actually, because I just thought his running, he's just never stopped from the moment that game started. I thought he was absolutely by far and away the best game he's had this season. It was difficult to pick one player, wasn't it? To be fair, it really was.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned Dara, because arguably he's keeping experienced Aaron Martin out of the team.
Yeah, absolutely, he is.
So,
he's interesting, Dara, as well, isn't he? Because he's come through an academy, Championship Premier League club, and yet he's an old-fashioned centre half. And I think you look at academy centre halves these days; they tend to play the football rather than just head it. And I think he's very similar to the way that Matt Saylor used to play himself.
No nonsense.
No nonsense.
Right,
clear it as far as you can. Whereas you look at other centre halves, perhaps that haven't got that attribute. And I think with Dara as well, Matt has to take a lot of credit from that Grimsby game when Dara gave away that soft penalty. And you're thinking, take him out of the team. That's a really, really bad mistake that's cost us a result. And he kept him in the team at Swindon, and he went on, I think, clean sheet. Since Swindon, I think we've only let in a couple of goals, haven't we? So fair play to Matt, and good shout about Dara.
Yeah, his progress as well has been incredible. When you think that he came in against Blackpool, I think it was, and had a poor first half. Last season he was playing Southern League for Hereford. So the rise of Dara O'Shea's been quite incredible.
Yeah, so we got Dara, Kirky, your choice.
But interesting one. I'm not sure I'll get universal agreement about this. I'm going to go for Lee Martin, actually, because I think Lee Martin, he has got the pedigree. I think he was at Man United as a youngster, and as Stu always tells me, you've got to have something about you to play for Man United. So and I think he didn't really settle in well at the start of the season. Didn't see the best of him. Wasn't really sure what his best position was. I remember seeing him, I think, against Ipswich in the Cup when he was man of the match, and then he went off the boil a bit. Looked a bit down, was in my opinion making bad decisions and executing those bad decisions badly. And I think since the Crewe game earlier, he's really come back for me. And I think Matt said something about him. If you want to play with energy, he's your man. And I think that link-up play, he's so direct, isn't he? He chases everything. So I think from a standing start for me, the last month or so, he's really stood out.
Good shout. I don't think we'll disagree with that one. Stu, your choice?
I love the way Archie Collins has come into the side and just seems to have taken over that midfield, really. It was such a big loss losing Hiram, and you kind of wondered how the season was going to go, knowing Hiram was going to be out for so long. Jordan Tilson didn't really step up as perhaps we would have liked him to. He's got his qualities, but I just feel if you're playing central midfield, you need to have more about you than just being able to shield the defence. And Archie does that, and he brings so much more as well. He gets stuck in. His passing is brilliant, and we saw up at Swindon what a great strike he's got as well.
Fantastic.
I think that's the difference with Archie as well, which I've noticed. He's not just a sideways passer, is he? He'll get his head up and he'll play a forward pass, which is what gets us going again. His
technique actually reminds me a bit of David Beckham, the way that he just gets on the ball and just strokes it so effortlessly across the pitch.
Hardly ever gets caught in possession, does he?
Cool.
And he's got that physicality about him as well. He's quite a strong little lad in the middle of the pitch. So I think he's had a brilliant first season.
Bargy?
Well, you pretty much picked all of them. You can't go for Nicky Law. I'm going to give a shout out actually for Jonathan Fort, because I think he is a quality striker. I think it benefited him on Saturday with the change in formation as well, because I don't think he's that effective when he's up there by himself. But he had Lee Holmes and Lee Martin getting in close to him on Saturday, which I thought really helped him a lot. And of course he was incremental in the first goal for Nicky Law as well. I thought he did really well. I would like to see him, particularly at home, to see him play with somebody outside him, and maybe that will be Ryan Bowman in future as he's integrated into the team. So I think Jonathan Fort's done well. Dean Moxey's been brilliant since he's gone to centre back as well, and it's great also to have Kane Wilson back at the club as well.
Yeah.
Well, four good shouts there. I'll go in goal. That's a good five-a-side team.
We're not having Christy in goal. He's having a good season as
well. I'd have probably gone with Dino. I think Dino's
different player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a different player in there, and he's organising us. He's keeping us tight. He's vocal, isn't he? And as you say, he gave absolutely everything on Saturday, coming off blood streaming down his face, because the club means something to him, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It must be great for Dino as well, because if you're left back and Dino's centre back, it must be great because Dino will know exactly what his left back wants from him as well. Yeah. So it's and the other way around as well.
And the partnership of him and Dara as well. Yeah. You've got Dino who's probably better with his distribution, left-footed. Yeah. Dara who's the.
I was just going to say that. I mean, for Dara to have someone like Dean alongside him, I mean, it's got to benefit him, hasn't it? It's got to help his game somewhat when you got an experienced pro like that alongside you.
Well, moving on slightly, then we've just had a transfer window just gone. We obviously lost our talisman, Mr. Stockley, and all those goals. But what did you think about Matt's business in the window, Stu?
Yeah, pretty decent.
So we lost Gio as well, didn't we? And
yeah, I think that's actually quite a big
Tristan's
loss. I know a
gone.
lot of people sort of weren't too disappointed that Gio left, but I thought towards the end of his loan spell with us, again going back to that game up at Swindon, I thought he was fantastic. And a couple of times before that, I thought we were starting to see the best of Gio. So I was a little bit disappointed that his loan spell ended and he didn't come back to finish the season. So I think we would have seen a really good end to the campaign from Gio. But yeah, as Bargy said, I think Kane Wilson coming back is really good because I love Kane Wilson. I think the way he just bombs on from fullback is what I love to see fullbacks doing. So far, I think the business has been really good, and who knows, there might be one or two more free agents that come in the next week or two.
And Ryan Bowman, he's got tough boots to fill, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. He really does, doesn't he? We haven't seen too much of him. He's certainly got the physical attributes, hasn't he, about him to
He's
to
strong,
be
isn't he?
to be a good target man. And you know, I loved watching Stockley and Thorpe play together. And you look at Stockley and you look at Bowman, and you see the same sort of physical stature, don't you? And you just hope, you know, fingers crossed that those two over time that they can develop a similar sort of prolific partnership as Stockley and Thorpe were showing at the start of the season. So yeah, you know, let's see, particularly like I say, here at St James Park, let's see two up front. I think the fans would love that with our wingers and that as well, in the way that Matt likes to play with the sort of more of an attacking style of play than what we've been used to over the last 2 or 3 seasons. I think that'd be good for the fans.
He just needs to get off the mark, Kirky, doesn't he, Bowman?
Yeah, he
And then
does.
he'll be
Well,
away.
he hasn't really had a chance yet, though, has he? I thought the job he did on Saturday when he came on, he was physical, he was running channels, wasn't he? So he's not a like for like with Stockley. He gives us more legs across the pitch. I mean, he hit the bar with a tremendous effort, I think, at Newport when there was nothing on for him. So it's kind of half chances. It'll come, but I think he's doing a role for the team rather than for himself at the moment.
Let's look ahead then in our last few minutes. And Dave, I'll come to you first. Obviously, what would your expectations, or what would you have deemed acceptable at the start of this season for us to finish as a team?
I think it's a little bit difficult, really, obviously, with all the changes that came about. But I still think generally the supporters felt that playoffs were a real possibility. And I think if we don't quite manage that, probably be a disappointment, really, to be honest. Especially where we are now and the players we brought in and the way we're playing. Anything less than the playoffs would be disappointing, but you know, we're only a few points outside that magic top 3, aren't we? So you know, and hopefully we've had our bad spell, and some of the other teams will get those. You know, and we've got a lot of those teams above us to play yet. So you know, I mean, top 3 is a real possibility, I think.
Well, we're 7th, Stu, with 4 points off of automatic. We're on the back of a terrific victory, and we know football's about confidence. We shouldn't be writing off automatic, should we?
No, I think we've got a game in hand on 2 of those teams in the top 3 as well, albeit against Lincoln away, which is going to be very, very tough. But as you say, 4 points, there's 15, 16 games of the campaign to go, so there's still plenty of time in which to get the points we need. Personally, I really hope we go up automatically. I don't know if I can take another playoff campaign.
But interesting,
especially for the players as well, you know, because 2 years in a row to be up there challenging again off the back of 2 disappointments like that, I think I think it's testament to their character, really.
But I think it's good as well because players are coming back into form, aren't they?
Yeah,
Pearce has had a bit of a blip, hasn't he, where he hasn't been on top of his game. And again on Saturday, you look at the players that are coming in, talking about the window, I've never known so much business. You know, we seem to be signing young, hungry, quick Premier League youngsters. So we've got a decent squad. Hopefully we'll get Hiram coming back sooner or later. But, players coming into form at the right time. This is the business end now, isn't it?
Well, we've got 3 months left, haven't we?
Exactly.
We've got 3 months left. But we've got some important games coming up in the next few fixtures, haven't we, Kirky?
Yeah, definitely. But I think we always play better against teams that have a structure about them. So the teams at the top tend to have a game plan, don't they? They know what they're doing, where the teams at the bottom must be a bit of a nightmare to play against because you never know what they're going to do. And when you look at Grimsby at home and Morecambe at home and points that we've dropped at the bottom, Macclesfield as well, you look at those points, if you like me, and add them up in your head and look where you would have been. But sometimes I think the team prefers playing against a team with structure because they know then your quality comes out, doesn't it? They're not fighting for everything so much, they're relying on quality. So I think Bury at home, is that the next game? Or we've got Colchester at home coming up as well.
I thought last week was a massive victory for us.
Cambridge one. Just found a way to win, didn't we?
It was one of those where 80, 82 minutes, whatever, a really scrappy game. And it's one of those where you thought, oh no, they're going to get a breakaway goal on 88
Yeah.
minutes, no time for us to get back in it.
Yeah.
And a bit of luck, which we hadn't had all afternoon up until that point, and
And it goes.
the man we're not allowed to mention goes
Yeah.
and gets the goal.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
and we've had the back-to-back wins as well. It's interesting looking at the table because there's a bit of a stretch now. I think between 9th and
you're right.
9th and 10th, there's about 5 or 6, 7 points, something like that.
Yeah.
Is it 49 to 42?
Stevenage are in 9th on 47, and then it drops down to Tranmere at 42.
42. So there is a bit of
Big gap,
a
yeah.
breakaway group, which is what you want.
Yeah. So who would you see as our main threats, and what are the important fixtures? I mean, at this stage of the season, every
Yeah, we're still not quite at that crunch stage yet. The sort of look for the last sort of 5-6 games. I think when you get to the 40 game mark, then it's all to play for. But obviously, as Kirky said, Bury up next at St James's Park. Carlisle on Saturday, of course, is going to be an important one because they're just I think they're just ahead of us in the table.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're
So,
on
Go
51.
Lincoln.
Yeah, Lincoln away. But if we can get points from those 3 games, then there's every reason. There's no reason why we can't go for
Historically, we keep mentioning Tiz, but historically, we were always stronger second half of the season
right,
under Tiz, weren't we?
Yeah.
So if we can continue that
Yeah.
kind of form, we should be okay, shouldn't we?
Take it to the last game of the season, Forest Green away, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
That's
that's
going to be you might go to that one, Fullsy.
You never know.
I do wonder though. I just feel there's another sting in the tail with MK Dons.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't rule out playing them in the playoffs.
I know.
Playoff final.
You'd take that, wouldn't you? I'd take
Would
that.
you?
Absolutely.
Would you really?
Absolutely, I'd take that.
If they
Place would be
perform like they
rocking,
did on
wouldn't it?
Saturday, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take
absolutely.
So come on then, let's nail it. Are we gonna? Where are we gonna finish, Bargy? Where are we gonna finish?
I'm always ridiculously optimistic, so I'm going to say we're going to get
Something wrong with that?
automatic. Because I can't face Wembley again. I really can't. I mean, Kirky and I, we've been fortunate enough to have been involved on the commentary side and that, and everything about going to Wembley, the whole day is fantastic. But if you don't get the result, it's just absolutely terrible.
It's a horrible
Everything
drive home,
goes
isn't it?
Goes out the window. So I'm going to go automatic.
Dave.
I mean, whoever would have believed that we don't want to go to Wembley? I mean, that's incredible, wouldn't it? Really, but I'm confident. I think third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair play, Kirky.
I'm with Dave, third.
Are you?
Yeah, Lincoln too far ahead, aren't they? I think a little bit. And Mansfield are so consistent, aren't they? What, they lost 3 or 4 games all season. So that third spot is up for grabs, and it's in our hands, isn't it? So why not? Let's go for third.
Yeah.
I'm going to sound like a right pessimist.
21st.
We're safe. We've got 50 points.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel that Lincoln, Mansfield, Bury have got extremely good squads. I think we've got a very, very good squad as well, and we can get that third place. One player we haven't mentioned is Donovan Wilson. We don't know anything about him at all, really. Can he come in and get the goals that we're perhaps that we are gonna miss with Jaden? So I think fourth.
Okay. So school report on Matt Taylor so far, then, guys. Doing a good job.
Yeah, 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
8 out of 10.
definitely.
Strong
Yeah,
8.
that's it.
And we got to mention him. We can't do around the table without mentioning Nicky Law. I mean, he's nailed on for Player of the Season, and Nick's
I think
already.
he's changed his name to Man of the Match. Nicky
Law.
Law.
Well, I think you said after 2 minutes on Saturday, we were watching together, weren't we? He made a pass, and you said that's man of the match sorted for him.
Yeah.
So.
What I like about Nicky as well is that you can see how much he's really enjoying his football
Yeah.
right now. He loves playing for City at the moment. He's scoring goals.
Yeah.
Matty's given him some freedom in the team, and he's really taking the responsibility and playing like another captain within the side, really.
And although I'd heard of him, and I knew of him, obviously, when he left, all the Bradford City fans, they weren't that bothered. They said, "Oh, he's a bit of a crab, just just
sideways and
sits
backwards.
deep and just plays balls either right or left of him and doesn't do anything else." But here, he's just all over the pitch,
Yeah,
and he
he's
seems to get stronger throughout the game as well. You get into the 80, 90 minutes, he's like bursting into
Strong,
the
isn't he?
opposition penalty area.
But
He's been brilliant.
He's more influential when he's central, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that was an
He has
interesting
more
thing
of a
because
mark
Matt
on the
did play
game.
him more centrally on Saturday, didn't he? It was more of a 4-3-3, and he was outstanding.
I think you always say to me, you are honestly always on the fence for about 2 seasons about a player, right? You always say the jury's out.
Yeah, I'm not naming mine off about David Noble yet.
After the first game of the season, you sent me a text saying we've signed a proper player here.
Yeah.
And so I thought this guy must be good.
Credit to Matt Taylor for giving him the freedom. As Bargy said, he came from
Yeah.
Bradford with the reputation of being backwards and sideways, but Matty's given him that freedom to venture forward and be a creative force for us.
We said after that very first game, he's class, and he's not let us down at all, has he?
No,
really?
not at all.
He's shown it every game since, really.
Get him on penalties.
Well, gents, thank you ever so much for your time. Stu, Bargy, Dave, appreciate you joining us on
Pleasure.
Kellows. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll hopefully get round the table with you again soon. Thank you. Well, we hope you enjoyed our first round the table. Some balanced views around there, wasn't there?
Good, sensible debate, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is always a bonus. One thing I did notice, though, was that you, as always, mate, managed to escape without giving us your opinion on where you think. So we're going to finish, Mr. Falls. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Well, someone's got to keep you rabble under control, haven't they? But
Come on,
I think I sort of intimated, because I kept banging on about us only being 4 points off of automatic. I absolutely concur with everyone. I don't really want to go to Wembley again. It extends the football season far beyond where it should be. So, yeah, I can see us nicking that third spot.
Can you
I
truly
really can.
believe that?
Yes, I do.
You truly
I think,
believe it?
I think, look, the weekend in some ways was a one-off, because it was a game that everyone had been looking forward to and everyone was up for. But the way that we played on Saturday, if we can harness that kind of confidence and that kind of performance, there's no one to scare us in this league, is there? So we're 4 points off. There's, 15 games to go?
16 to go.
So there's no reason why, if we put a run together, it's all about putting runs together in this league,
Another
isn't it?
48 points to be won.
5 or 6 victories on the bounce will be up there. And you consider, we were top of the league, first or second for the first couple of months. We went on that run where we couldn't buy a victory for a few weeks, and yet we're still 7th. So little run, absolutely third within our grasp. So
well said, sir.
Expecting us to go up automatically this season.
I concur.
And we'll be all playing this back at the end of the season if it doesn't happen. But there. We hope you enjoyed this month's Kellows. We certainly enjoyed putting it together. And we'll leave you with the Dirty Dozen at Troy Brown's pad. Right then, chaps, it's time for the Dirty Dozen. This is our third round of the quiz. We've done Dan Green and Jake Taylor. Dan started well, didn't he? Jake did even better. So pressure's on Troy for honour in the changing room.
Bash.
Kirky,
what's your general knowledge
go
like?
for it.
We're going to go for it?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Who won the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Yeah, I know that one. The New England Patriots.
He's right. It was the New England Patriots.
Cool.
Who is the current manager of Ipswich Town?
Lambert.
Good shout.
First name?
Paul.
Paul Lambert.
Cool.
Snooker question. How many points for the blue ball in snooker?
Oh, come on. 4.
5.
One out.
Brown is 4, I think. Okay, let's go. Roy Keane. Which club is Roy Keane at now?
Nottingham Forest.
He is indeed.
He's gone there, is he?
He has.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Keep up,
Come on,
Fullsy.
get with it.
Sorry.
Who is currently bottom of League 2?
Notts County.
He's right.
That's right.
Exeter City squad numbers. Who is squad number 21?
Dean Moxey.
Is the right answer.
He puts
Going
it
well.
everywhere.
Does he?
Yes.
What do you mean? What, writes it everywhere, does he?
Number plate, writes it everywhere. He's probably got it tattooed on him. I don't know.
Have to check that out, won't we? Okay, let's take you back to your Rotherham days.
Go on.
You scored your first goal for Rotherham against Barnet in a 2-2 draw. Who else scored that day?
Grabs. Hang on. It's either Grabs or Alfie Lafondra. I think it's Lafondra.
It was Lafondra. Adam Lafondra.
Are we going to give him that?
Of course we're going to give him that.
We'll give him that. The coffee was good, wasn't it?
It was. And who's Grabs? Who's Grabham?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was your first red card for Aldershot against?
I remember this. Morecambe, 93rd minute.
Wow.
It was.
Schoolboy.
What happened?
3-0 up, I think, and I was playing centre midfield. Chased my first touch, probably.
And straight red, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah,
In the
and I
93rd?
remember who it was
Wow.
on. Fleming.
Was it? Oh, yeah.
Because
Andrew Fleming.
I saw him in Thailand that summer, and he said, "Oh, my shin's still hurting." And some geezer was calling me Brownie in Koh Samui, and it was him.
Brilliant.
Memorable.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, we talked about the game against City in August 2010. It was 2-2. Who scored both goals for City that day?
Which game? Sorry.
The Ipswich game, one of your first games.
This season.
No. Back in 2010.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who scored for City?
Yeah.
Ryan Harley.
Got
So I
both
remember
of them.
Roy Keane warned us about him and went mental.
Did he?
Yeah.
It was
One
meant-
went in the roof of the net. I remember
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I remember it.
It was meant to be picking him up then. Was he just drifting through, was he?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, but I remember it was scenes.
That must have been a scary sight,
Yeah.
Roy Keane
Yeah,
losing
it's
it.
good though.
Right, there's another Troy Brown in the NFL. Okay, what position does he play?
Oh,
Oh, that's a
Good
tough
question, that, isn't it, mate? Oh, come on.
But he got the first one right, didn't he? About
He did, the Patriots.
I should know this because I used to Google myself when I was younger.
Yeah, and this is Troy Fitzgerald Brown, isn't it?
Kirky still Googles himself now. So don't worry
One day
about
I'll have a page.
I only know 2 positions, quarterback and running back. I'll go running back.
Oh, he's a wide receiver.
And I know that as well, so I should have said that.
Oh, sorry, mate.
it. Never mind.
He's corner, is it corner? I think, did you say corner or quarter?
Quarter, yeah.
Corner, okay. Right, Saturday, there was a game at Goodison Park. What animal stopped play at Goodison Park on Saturday? An animal ran onto the pitch.
Oh, see, I saw a pigeon in the Man United Leicester.
Okay.
An animal ran onto the pitch.
At Goodison.
Fox.
Black cat.
Oh,
Doing all right, mate.
he did all right.
Right, let's go back to your first Exeter City goal. Who was it against? Do you remember? We won 2-1.
Dagenham away.
Yes! Good shout.
Strong finish.
Strong finish.
Yeah.
9?
9 out of 12.
There and thereabouts.
That's respectable. That's the same score as Dan
I
Green.
think it
isn't
was.
What did Jake get?
He got 10 and a half, I think.
or something, mate. I know. But that's a good shout.
But this doesn't go out till Wednesday, so all day tomorrow and Wednesday you can tell him you've got 12 out of 12, Troy.
Yeah.
All right?
And I think he gets
Brilliant.
a bonus point as well for telling us some good anecdotes. Happy day.
Thank you.
Top man.
Rob Edwards, with just his second goal of the season, gives Exeter the lead.